Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, the one and only Dawg Knight.
All right. Shall we get this thing going? Yes, we shall. Although I think I have the wrong, do I have the right? Oh, I do have the right one there. Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Morning Night Live. I'm your host, Marty, also known as Dawg Knight on the internet. And welcome back to the Dawg Knight Channel on this Thursday, the 12th of December, 2024. 13 days until Christmas. You know, I was going to record another one of those For Marty's videos. And I've been doing an arrangement to the Christmas song, and I just can't get it right. So I'm probably gonna have to put out the old one again, where Carol of the Bells. I don't know why I told you that, but it just made me start thinking of Christmas, which I'm not really ready for at all. But you know, we're not doing that much this Christmas because my son's not coming home. The daughter and it's gonna be, well, my daughter and her family will be here the night before Christmas with some other family and friends, but we're doing a chill this year just because. I am glad you're here. I'm sorry I'm so late. It's just, you know, this time of year, work and stuff causes me to have a really weird schedule. So this is going to be a truncated show. Do 5 Martys this time. You need a trans Marty. No, I don't need a trans Marty. Maybe a beatbox Marty, but I don't beatbox. So that kind of throws that out the window too. We'll figure it out. Anyway, let's say hi to everybody and get going because, oh, by the way, the title up here, that up there, that popping sound you hear, who can guess what the title of this show means? That popping sound you hear. And, you know, I shouldn't have, maybe popping is not the right word for it. But if you can figure out what that popping sound is, just drop it in the chat. I'm not even going to do a Q&A for it. But let's say hi to everybody and get it going. First in the chat today is Mr. Kara Soldier. Got here bright and early. Way to go. Also, good morning, Avocados Diabli. And our friend Somnambule Nation, Frankie Deller, good morning. And Tyler F's in the house. Wow, this you guys were talking about. Attack Alpaca, good morning. Number 1 is in the house. Anon 1, 2, 3 is here. My other favorite Canadian, Unacceptable Views in the house. John Arnott, welcome back. Good morning also to Novar Sarah, a.k.a. Ravon Harris. What up? Mike Savage, Blarg. Who else is here? Is that it? Yeah, it's short notice. Darren Root, what's up? And I'm sure there's more people coming in as we speak. Just get in the chat. I'll say hi if I notice. I'll try to notice you. Also, do me a favor if you haven't tweeted out the show yet today, or at least given me a let's go. Well, that's what we need to do. In fact, people have done that already. There's CG with a giddy up. Let's go with, who is that? Is that Maya Rudolph? Yeah, it is. Anyway, there's one of them. Here's, let's see, this one from Reaccion Puerto Rico. Strength and Honor. I like that one. Also, Somnambule Nation dropped the dancing kitty cat. That's awesome. The disco cat giving me a ha, 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 staying alive, ha, 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 staying alive. Too much of that. Also, thank you, Simon Wilkins and Somnambule Nation, for already tweeting out the show, and several of you have also retweeted the show. That would be CG, Somnambule Nation, and Green Badger Outdoors, and Reaccion Puerto Rico. All right, so anyway, and I know Reaccion Carlos is here somewhere. I know you're listening, Carlos. I know you're here, brother. So, let's get into it because there's a few trending things, but I really want to talk about the main topic today is the Time Man of the Year, or Person of the Year, Mr. Donald John Trump. Now, and I'm gonna when we get to that little thread or whatever, we're gonna be looking for the first person who compares this year's Person of the Year to some of the more notorious persons of the year because of their hate and disdain for Donald John Trump. So I know we'll see them, and we'll get there. So let's talk about what's happening. Today is the feast of Our Lady of Guadalupe. You know me and these Catholic holidays, I am fascinated by them. On December 12th, we celebrate the feast of Our Lady of Guadalupe, the patroness of the Americas. This is for the Western Hemisphere peoples. Let's see. Let me see if I can find. Well, let's see. Here's one in Spanish. Oh my goodness, that is wild. I've never seen that one before. I want to see what this one in Spanish says. I'm going to hit the translate thing here because my Spanish is not that great. Congratulations to Our Lady of Guadalupe, Queen of Mexico and Empress of the Americas. Our Lady of Guadalupe. Okay, that's just saying it twice. Okay, I don't need to do that. Let's see if I can find an explanation. Here we go. Here it is. Today, the church in the United States celebrates the feast of Our Lady of Guadalupe. In the winter of 1531, a poor 57-year-old Aztec Indian living 5 miles outside of Mexico City encountered a miraculous happening on his way to morning mass. First, he heard strange music coming from Tepeyac Hill, and then he heard a woman's voice calling his name. Juan Diego climbed the hill and encountered a young woman appearing to be one of his own people in physical appearance and dress. The woman identified herself as the Virgin Mary and told Juan Diego to ask the Bishop of Mexico City to build a church on the hill to assist in the conversion of the nation and be a source of consolation to the people. Juan Diego obeyed the request, but the bishop was skeptical regarding the message, even though he perceived that Juan was a humble and well-meaning Catholic. Juan reported the bishop's doubt to Our Lady at Tepeyac Hill, and she asked him to return to the bishop once again, bearing the same message. The bishop once again heard the story, then told Juan Diego to ask Our Lady for a sign that it was indeed herself that wished for the church to be built. When he returned to the hill, Mary gave Juan Diego such a sign. Miraculously, roses appeared on the hill in the middle of winter, and Juan gathered them in his tilma, or cloak. Our Lady arranged the roses in his tilma with her own hands, and Juan returned to the bishop's presence. When Juan released the tilma, allowing the flowers to fall on the floor, it was revealed that a miraculous image of Our Lady had imprinted itself on his tilma. The bishop immediately fell to his knees and came to believe in Juan Diego's message. The church was built on the spot of the apparition as Mary had requested, and 8 million people converted to Catholicism in a short period of time upon hearing of or viewing the miraculous vision of Our Lady. The tilma of Juan Diego has been the subject of much modern research. The tilma, woven out of a coarse cactus fiber, should have disintegrated after 20 years, but although over 500 years have passed, the tilma is still in perfect condition. The pupils of Mary in the picture reflect the Indians and clergy present at the time of the first revelation of the image. No paint was used, and chemical analysis has not been able to identify the color imprint. Additionally, studies have revealed that the stars on Mary's mantle match exactly what a Mexican would have seen in the sky in December of 1531. I never read this story before. That is crazy. So it's still there? Okay, there you go. Modern science cannot explain many aspects of the image of Our Lady of Guadalupe. The image shows no sign of deterioration after 500 years. The tilma or cloak of Juan Diego on which the image of Our Lady has been imprinted is a coarse fabric made from the threads of maguey. Oh my gosh, this goes on and on and on. Well, you can read the rest yourself, but that's kind of wild. I guess me not paying attention to the Catholic stuff because I'm not Catholic. It's like I said, it always fascinates me. So there we go. All right, I'm pretty sure that I've put this up here. If you haven't dropped a let's go in the post on X yet, well, what's wrong with you? All right. Thank you we have a sponsor. Mr. Avocado Diabli is the first to sponsor the show, and that makes you the new Streamlabs Superstar sponsor of the day. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. Dropping a small bullet in the tip jar, Avocados Diabli says, well, on the plus side, at least I can safely say that I still give absolutely zero fucks about whom Time picks as Person of the Year. That is something not much, but something. Yeah, yeah, they've had some clunkers, and it really isn't, it doesn't mean that they're the greatest person here, just the biggest newsmaker, which probably, I think it's hard to say that President Trump wouldn't be the biggest newsmaker this year. With one of the greatest political comebacks in history. So it's not surprising, but we're still going to go through it to see how, I want to see how Time, the writers of the article, how they spin it. I want to see, the little digs, the little negative things they're going to put in there, and how negative it's going to be. Because remember, they've had some notorious persons of the year. Of course, the guy with the funny mustache, I believe, was the Person of the Year in, I think, 1939 or 1938, something like that. They've had a lot of clunkers. Even, I don't know. It's kind of like, it reminds me of Obama's Nobel Prize. Yeah, great, he got a Nobel Prize, but it doesn't really make it a great award. But it is interesting, and a lot of people are celebrating it, so we're going to go through it. Thank you, Avocados Diabli. You are the Streamlabs Superstar sponsor of the day. The Streamlabs Superstar sponsor of the day is the person who has the largest donation amount of the day, and so far, that is Avocados Diabli. Thank you very much, sir. Also, quick good mornings to other people who've shown up. Green Badger Outdoors. I think I already said that already. Simon Wilkins is in the house. Oh, no, you weren't here when I said thank you for dropping the thingy in the Xbox, so to speak. Also, good morning, Darren Root. I think I already said that too. Okay, I did. The honorable mentioned favorite Canadian, Special Can Acids in the house, and who else is here? Johnny Boomer Tech showed up. How about you? Here, there's this. I'll pin the old Superstar sponsor link, and let's see who else is here. John Arnott, hello. Big Dro's in the house. Big Dro, what's up? Welcome back. And let's see, Frankie says, the guy who built the church I grew up in was supposedly told in a vision he would build it but pass away shortly after it was consecrated. He built it anyway, but kept delaying getting it consecrated. Oh, that's funny. He supposedly passed after the church groundskeeper accidentally let the bishop in to do the ceremony and died that night. Oh, wow. That's quite a story. Oh, good morning, Tyre! Alexander! Scourge! Hello, what's up, Tyre? I don't know why I don't know. The grand entrance for Tyre Alexander each day makes me smile. Okay. All right, also trending. Let's see, what else we got? Oh, Dick V. If you're familiar with Dick Vitale, I was hoping it wasn't because he died, because I know Dick Vitale had a cancer scare, but he's recovered from cancer from a couple of years ago, and he posted about him going in for blood work. It says, this is my big game. Yes, it's a PET scan day, starting now with getting ready for blood work prior to the scan. Just want to say to all of you that have gone out of your way to send prayers and special messages, all of you, thanks so much. So, and he still raises money for the Dickie V Foundation. I guess apparently Dick Vitale may be coming back to announce some college basketball games this year after a year of battling, more than a year of battling cancer. Let's see. Someone here says, saw Dickie V trending. I thought he had gone to call games with Bill Walton in the upper room. No, he actually may be coming back to college basketball. So there you go. So congratulations, Dick Vitale, for your recovery. Also trending is staged is a question is a word that's trending, and I really didn't know why. Good morning, Lord Stanhope. How you doing? I wasn't real sure why until I saw this. Apparently, this is a report that was on CNN, and a lot of people are saying it was staged. I want to show it to you. Let me get the full screen here. Johnny, there it is. Okay. So they had this report on this Syrian prisoner being freed. And this person says central casting needs better actors, pretends to find a wayward Syrian civilian in jail. This is the phoniest stage shit I've ever seen. So here, let me just show you this report on This is CNN. I went a little too low for that because he doesn't speak that. This is CNN. Is that a better John? What's it? James Earl Jones? Was that a better James? Was the second one better? This is CNN. That wasn't very good either. I got to work on my James Earl Jones. Anyway, here's the report. Let's watch it and see what's up with this. They're saying this is staged. You be the judge.
I can't tell though. It might just be a blanket, but it's the only cell that's locked. Is he gonna shoot it?
The guard makes us turn the camera off while he shoots the lock off the cell door. We go in to get a closer look. It's still not clear if there is something under the blanket.
Oh, it moved. Is there someone there? I thought I saw it move. Is someone there? Or is it just a blanket? I don't know.
Oh my God.
Hello?
Why is CNN the first of the scene here?
I'm a civilian, he says. I'm a civilian.
Hi, selected boys in the house. Yeah, boy.
He tells the fighter he's from the city of Humps and has been in the cell for 3 months.
Okay, you're okay. You're okay. You're okay. You're okay.
Why is she holding his
Tightly
hand?
with both hands.
Okay.
What?
Does anyone have any water? Water. My.
Anybody?
My. Okay, it's water. It's water. Okay.
Does he speak English? And why is she telling him it's water?
You're okay.
Oh my God.
You're okay.
Okay, you be the judge. So they did a whole report on this guy, finding him. There's a longer version in here somewhere, but everyone's saying that it's faked. LOL staged. They really expect us to buy this. Yeah, this is kind of like them blowing up. What was it? NBC blew up the car, the Pinto or something like that. So anyway. But anyway, there's other versions of staged on here. For example, let's see. Someone needs to stage an intervention for this psychopath at this point. That's for, we'll get to Bowman later. We'll get to Jamal Bowman. But, so anyway, that's why stage is trending. Let's move on. Sorry, I still have this cough. My wife says it's viral. I'm going to have it for a while. YouTube TV is trending. Now, I know there's a lot of people like me, who have cut the cable, so to speak. They got rid of their cable, and I have some friends who decided to go to YouTube TV, and there's people who use Netflix, and there's people who use all these stupid services, right? And it's getting to the point where if you have 2 or 3 of these services, you're probably paying about the same that you were paying for cable these days. Well, the reason YouTube TV is trending is because they are increasing their prices to $83 a month starting in January 2025. They just put out a notice. Hi, Joe. YouTube TV has always worked hard to offer you the content you love, delivered the way you want, with features that make it easy to enjoy the best live TV. To keep up with the rising cost of content and investments we make in the quality of our service, we're updating our monthly price from $72.99 a month to $82.99 a month starting in January 2025. Now I don't have YouTube TV. I do have YouTube Premium, which has gone up to I think it's like $15 a month now just to keep ads off. But it's like, and part of it is they keep adding stuff to YouTube TV. For example, they now have, you can buy NFL Sunday Ticket on YouTube. You can get the MLB Network or whatever. So they're starting to get all these channels that the cable channels have. Now, I get my local TV just from an antenna. I got one of those digital antennas, which is really nice, so I can still watch football. But it's kind of funny. in 5 years, YouTube TV went from $40 a month to $83 a month. I mean, so if you have YouTube TV, and it's like, say you're using YouTube TV for your local channels, and whatever else they offer, and then you go and then you have like Netflix, and then you have Paramount to get the NBC channels, and you have the Peacock Network gets the NBC stuff. You might as well just get cable again. It's kind of wild how much it's getting expensive, how expensive it's getting. Fortunately, I get Paramount with my internet service for free, which I've never even, was it Paramount or Peacock? I don't even know because I've never opened it up. Might be Peacock Network. And then I get, what's the other one? I get Max free with my cell phone service. And then we pay for Netflix, and I have an antenna. And pretty much Lady Boomer and I just watch Netflix all the time, or whatever. We watch movies or we binge watch some series too. But it's crazy how expensive it is to have all these services, and some of them are starting to combine. So now you're going to have they'll combine two of these services together, but then they'll raise the price to do that. You might as well just get cable if you're going to do that, or just get one thing and use it. Paramount of CBS stuff. Yeah, that's right. I couldn't remember which is which. All right, let's see. Let's talk about the main topic of the day, Time Magazine. Remember yesterday we said they had the finalists. Well, they have decided that Donald John Trump is the Time Person of the Year. And I'm trying to see if not a whole lot of people talking about this. Somebody says the pictures from the Time Magazine spread are too effing badass. They've got these pictures. Notice how it's interesting. Trump's looking a little bit thinner these days. I mean, I noticed that when he's on the campaign trail, he must be watching what he eats. Anyway, they have a pretty flattering picture of him, which is good. So let's go through the article that they have for Time Person of the Year. But remember, it's not necessarily, it's not the best person of the year or whatever, although I think Donald Trump should qualify in that case just because of the fact that he's made the greatest political comeback in history. But, they have listings of the prior Times Persons of the Year from the last few years. Last year it was Taylor Swift. Yay. The year before that, it was Vladimir Zelensky. The year before that, it was Elon Musk. So, it's biggest newsmaker of the year, and that's who Time has chosen. So here we go. Donald Trump, 2024 Time Person of the Year. And how long is this article? Is this a long article? It's okay. It's kind of long. We'll go through some of it because holy shit. And of course, they have to put their January 6th picture in there. So we'll just go through this article a little bit, and then we'll move on to some other stuff because I don't have. I'm kind of, I'm limited for time today. They did a better job with his makeup though. He doesn't look quite as orange. Oh, I didn't know you could do this. Oh, look at that! You can move your cursor over it, the thing moves. That's pretty cool. I wasn't expecting that. All right. Mar-a-Lago was quiet 3 days before Thanksgiving. Donald Trump's Moorish palace seemed all but deserted late that morning as Seaside Estate's cavernous living room traversed intermittently by a junior staffer or silent aide. Totems to Trump were displayed everywhere. Framed magazines with him on the cover hung by the front door. On the table, the fireplace, sat a cast bronze eagle awarded him by the singer Lee Greenwood. In the men's lavatory, a picture of him with Arnold Palmer hung, no pun intended, near the urinals. What? Remember the conversation about that Donald Trump was mentioning Arnold Palmer and how he was also hung? And they have a picture of him and Arnold Palmer near the urinals. Anyway, that's weird. Adorning a wall in the library bar, a painting titled The Visionary depicted Trump in a tennis sweater, trim and youthful. The empty rooms felt less like a Millionaires Members Club than a museum. By mid-afternoon, the president-elect's imminent arrival had stirred signs of life. Discreetly placed speakers offered up selections from Trump's personally curated 2,000-song playlist. A handful of transition honchos and soon-to-be administrative officials arrived, perching on the overstuffed sofas, and huddling in corners. The incoming chief of staff, Susan Wiles, conferred with Trump's designated national security advisor, Mike Waltz. Vice President-elect J.D. Vance strode in with a retinue. That's a new word, retinue. Should we look that up? I'm assuming that means a gaggle or something like that. Let's look up the word retinue, because I have never heard that anyone use that word in my entire life. And I'm quite adept at the English language. And so when I see new words, I always have to look them up. Retinue is a body of retainers who follow a prince or other distinguished person, a train of attendees, a suite. Okay. I guess it doesn't have to be a prince, but anyway. An aide posted up near a window overlooking the patio, setting down Trump's personal cell phone, which lit up occasionally with calls and texts from favored media personalities and cabinet picks. You could sense Trump before you could see him. The small group of senior aides rising to their feet in anticipation. The world's most powerful man entered. Now that's interesting. That's interesting. Who wrote this? They describe, let's see, written by Eric Cortellessa. I'm curious about Eric Cortellessa here. Eric Cortellessa is a staff writer at Time based in Washington, D.C. Bureau. He covers Congress, Donald Trump, and national politics. Interesting, because Donald Trump's not yet the president of the United States, and yet Cortellessa describes him as the world's most powerful man. And they links to an article called How Donald Trump Won in 2024. Anyway, the world's most powerful man entered with an air of unhurried bonhomie. Why is this guys using $20 words when a $5 word will do? Okay, here's another one. I hate when they do that, because most people reading this article are not good. I don't know. If I don't know the word, bonhomie, geniality, friendliness, a pleasant, friendly, good-natured manner, an affable or approachable disposition, frank and simple good-heartedness. Wow, that's interesting that they use that word too. Retinue is any group of people with a particular purpose for existing. Okay, well, that's another way to put it. Okay, so I'm surprised that he used that word too. This guy must like Trump, because that's not usually they give him backhanded compliments or whatever. Dressed in his trademark navy suit and red tie, Trump, 78, appeared a little older than he had 7 months earlier when he last met with Time. More subdued, less verbose, and the same discursive speech patterns, but with the volume turned down. Sitting under bright lights for a 30-minute photo session ahead of a 65-minute interview, he's asked to explain the bruising on his right hand, and it's from shaking hands with thousands of people. Or he just has an old man and he gets those bruises that old people get. By the way, good morning, lunatic, your internet's favorite lunatic. Nice to have you here. Trump's political rebirth is unparalleled in American history. The first term ended in disgrace, with his attempts to overturn the 2020 election results culminating in the attack on the U.S. Capitol. He was shunned by most party officials when he announced his candidacy late in 2022 amid multiple criminal investigations. Little more than a year later, Trump cleared the Republican field, clinching one of the fastest contested presidential primaries in history. He spent 6 weeks in the general election in a New York City courtroom, the first former president to be convicted of a crime, the fact that did little to dampen his support. An assassin's bullet missed his skull by less than an inch at a rally in Butler, Pennsylvania in July. Over the next 4 months, he beat not one but two Democratic opponents, swept all 7 swing states, and became the first Republican to win the popular vote in 20 years. He has realigned American politics, remaking the GOP and leaving the Democrats reckoning with what went awry. I'll tell you what went awry. They suck! Okay, moving on. Trump has a ready explanation for his improbable resurrection. He even has a name for his climactic final act. I called it 72 Days of Fury. Yes, fury. Very furious. It's very furious. That's a great word, fury. He says it as the interview gets underway. We hit a nerve in this country The country was angry. It wasn't just the MAGA faithful. Trump harnessed deep national discontent about the economy, immigration, and cultural issues. His grievances resonated with suburban moms and retirees, Latino and black men, young voters, and tech edgelords. While Democrats estimated that most of the country wanted a president who will uphold the norms of liberal democracy, Trump saw a nation ready to smash them, tapping into the growing sense that the system was rigged. If America's cravings change, it is about to see how much Trump can deliver. He ran on a strongman vision. Did he? Maybe. He ran on a strongman vision, proposing to deport migrants by the millions, dismantle parts of the federal government, seek revenge against his political adversaries, to dismantle institutions that millions of people see as censorious and corrupt. He understands the cultural zeitgeist, says his 2016 campaign manager, Kellyanne Conway, who remains a close advisor. Donald Trump is a complicated person with simple ideas, and way too many politicians are the exact opposite. Oh, wow, that's good. Good morning, Jaeger Pony, my favorite Canadians in the house. Trump also promises to attack the sources abroad that he blames for the country's malaise: economic interdependence, transnational criminals, traditional allies he sees as free riders on America's long-running global beneficence. He believes that he has tools to fight back punitive tariffs, bare-knuckle negotiations, and threats to withdraw U.S. military with humanitarian and economic support. Willing to upend the nation's post-war role as the bulwark against authoritarianism, he promises to usher in a foreign policy rooted in American-first transactionalism. Well, yeah. A president who wants to cater to the interest of our own country first before we do it for everybody else. I don't get it. Yes, we're the most generous country in the world. Right now, we need to fix some shit here first, and then we'll get back to y'all. Much still stands in his way. The Republicans have narrow majorities in the House and Senate. A conservative Supreme Court may not bless all his boundary-pushing policies. Enduring institutional resistance inside the federal bureaucracy could thwart his designs. The public also remains a powerful check on any president. Trump has proved twice now that he can surf to power an anti-incumbent sentiment to a cult of personality and divisive rhetoric, including race. What? Wait a minute. Oh, whoa, what? Wait, let me read that sentence again. Hello, K-Shell. What's up? The public. Okay. Trump. I'll try that sentence in a second. Thank you, Avocado Diablo. Another small bullet in the tip jar, who says, here are some more words to add to your lexicon. That means vocabulary. Bitch, please. And I will try not to mordacious. I saw the word. I will try not to be too. You mean TOO2? Mordacious, that means sarcastic, or palaverous, that means verbose, that means wordy. And if you need help with the word wordy, I give up. Okay, I got you. That was beautiful, and you get a bell and a horn and a ching-ching and
congratulations, you played yourself.
You get all of those. Okay, thank you, Avocado. Fuck you. Okay. Just kidding. You know I'm just kidding, brother. Anyway, so let me read this sentence again because it's fascinating. A fascinating sentence. Trump has proved twice now that he can surf to power on anti-incumbent sentiment, a cult of personality, and divisive rhetoric, including racist and xenophobic attacks. Really interesting way to put it. He has yet to prove that he can enact the radical vision he campaigned on. Those closest to the president-elect say that he will surprise people by fulfilling his promises. Most politicians don't, says Wiles, and he will. Well, he did pretty good at that his first term. I mean, not that he obviously had obstacles in the Congress, but he did pretty good on at least going for everything that he set out to do and that he talked about in the campaign trail. So it'll be interesting to see how much resistance he gets this time too. Anyway, whether Trump can actually fix the root causes of America's anger is another question. He will now have to contend with the same forces that he rode to the White House: a globalized economy, mass migration, the rise of China that have bedeviled predecessors from both parties and ousted incumbents around the world. He will also see just how far the nation is willing to let him go. If he succeeds, he could reshape the country. Along the way, he risks tearing down the constitutional norms and institutions that have seen America's great experiment in democracy through 2.5 centuries. Well, okay, and then they go, I'm not going to go through the whole interview. This is quite the long article, but the images are interesting. So, what is this? This one's Trump campaign aides arrive at Fayetteville, North Carolina, ahead of October 4th rally. This is Trump gestures at supporters as he exits a campaign rally in Mullet Arena in Tempe, Arizona. And then we got this one, people near Pittsburgh. The photos are interesting. They have, and they took pictures of him kissing the flag, which is famous. Here it is. Trump's changing coalition. Percentage point and margin of victory by Trump or challenger. And this is, again, is gained in all these areas. He's gained in almost every demographic, except for, which is interesting, what is this? Wait, what? Trump by, oh, I see. But he got, what? This is weird. Why did they do it this way? Latino men plus 31. This doesn't make sense. Trump's gained or lost since 2016 plus 41, plus 26, plus 25 Latino women. Voters of color with a college degree plus better by 17%. Oh, I see what they did here. Okay. And he actually won Latino men by 10% versus these last two elections. I mean, he's better in almost every demographic except for white men with no degree, down 8. It's funny because they keep saying it's white people who carry him, but he did better. He didn't do as well among those. And then white women with a college degree and white men with college degrees, he's down 10% in each of those. Did 10% worse. But he's better in all of these other categories, even though he didn't win those votes. So and also, by the way, this is an interesting stat, and you can read the rest of this article yourself. Here's the most interesting stat to me. Kamala Harris did not flip a single county in the entire country. Kamala Harris did not flip a single county in the entire country. That's the wild one. And Donald Trump did better in every demographic, did better in every state except for, I think, the one district in Nebraska that they split, and in the state of Washington. Donald Trump got more votes in every single state other than those two. So that's a big reason why he won. But if you want to read that article, it'll be in the links today if you want to read the rest of it. It is fascinating. Some people are, so another thing trending, people are saying person of the century. Some people are saying Donald Trump should be person of the century for saving America from the Democrats' attempts to totally annihilate our country. Agree? Well, no, because the century's not over. But honestly, the person of the century is more appropriate. This is the greatest comeback in American history. Yeah, there's a lot of century left, though, so we can't be having a person of the century half. Okay, how about person of the first quarter of the century? How's that sound? Now, by the way, also, Donald Trump was honored by being the first, I believe, the first president-elect to open the New York Stock Exchange this morning. He got to ring the bell at the New York Stock Exchange. Here's some footage of that, what they had this morning, and a few of his relatives and cabinet members, or the vice president, well, a couple of his cabinet members. Here's Donald Trump at the New York Stock Exchange with the Time Person of the Year picture behind him. Okay, let go. Let go. Let go. Come on, Grandma. So there you go. That's pretty exciting, I guess. Good morning, Nomad, by the way. Hammer time. Also, thank you, Advocatus Dabley, solidifying his Streamlabs Superstar sponsor today, who says, since we, and by we I mean me, are on about vocabulary this morning, and since it ties in with Trump in a tangential way, I will refrain from defining that word. Good, because I understand that word. Isn't the word ethno-nationalist redundant, since ethno is Greek for nation? Well, it can be, although people in the United States just think it means white people. But sure, that's a very good choice. Thank you, Advocatus Dabley, for sponsoring the show again. Streamlabs link up in the pinned comment up there, or you can do YouTube super chats too during the show if you want to. If you got something you want to say that you want to make sure I say it out loud, just drop a couple bucks in the tip jar and we'll take care of that. So anyway, person of the year is trending. New York Stock Exchange is trending because he opened the New York Stock Exchange. Someone here says President Donald Trump signs the New York Stock Exchange guest book and learns he is the first president to ring the bell since Ronald Reagan. Oh, that's what it is. I did not know that. That's pretty funny that they kept holding on the bell. It reminds me, so, if my mother, Mary Lou, if you're watching, my mother-in-law, if you happen to be watching, I'm not making fun of you, but it is funny. So, when we go to pick up my mother-in-law or go to her apartment or whatever, we hit the buzzer thing and she has to punch a button on her phone to, unlock the door so we can just walk in without her having to come down, three stories. And I always laugh because you only have to hold it for like 1 second and let go, and then it clicks and lets go. And I always laugh because a couple times it wasn't working or we'd miss it. So she got this habit of holding it for like 30 seconds sometimes. You're like, but the thing is, it doesn't click until she lets go. And I always tell, and so every time, say, we're here, let go. In my head, I'm thinking, let go, let go, let's go, let's go. And then she finally lets go and it clicks and you can walk in. So that's reminded me of the Donald Trump ringing the bell. Just kept holding the bell there. Let me check my notifications real quick because there's a few new ones. Thank you, Dark Horse Rising, for retweeting the show. Also, Mr. X51 dropped a let's go in there. And what's this one? Oh, that was my pick. Okay, so this was my pick for let's go. I put the standing ovation pick on, or GIF or GIF or whichever you prefer as the let's go. All right, moving on. See, we already did New York Stock Exchange. Voice of America. Oh, his few more Donald Trump appointments or potential appointments have been coming up. One of them is apparently Donald Trump has asked Carrie Lake to lead the Voice of America or Voice of America News. Here's the announcement. And this is, I don't know that the Voice of America is a great, super important thing or not. I don't know. I'm pleased to announce that Carrie Lake will serve as our next director of the Voice of America. She will be appointed by and work closely with our next head of the U.S. Agency for Global Media, who I will announce soon, to ensure that the American values of freedom and liberty are broadcast around the world fairly and accurately, he yells. Unlike the lies spread by the fake news media, Carrie was a beloved news anchor in Arizona, which supported me by record margins for over 20 years. It's so funny how he writes the things. Anyway, so it's interesting. Carrie Lake, Trump picks Carrie Lake to lead Voice of America. Now, what does this say? Know what I would, someone that says, know what would be better than Carrie Lake leading Voice of America? not being robbed of a Senate victory. No, what would be better than Carrie Lake not being robbed of a Senate victory, not being robbed of the Arizona governor race? I prefer accountability over theft. Yeah, those were interesting races in Arizona when Carrie Lake ran for the Senate. She didn't lose by much, but still. Breaking Person of the Year, President Trump nominates Carrie Lake to be the next director of Voice of America. Millions of Americans will be able to hear from Carrie Lake daily. Let's go. Well, I've never... Okay, here's a new poll for the chat. Here you go. Here's a new poll for the chat. Have you ever listened to Voice of America? I know I haven't, so I'm like, yeah, really? I don't know. Never did. All right. I prefer former TV star Marty is getting his elder respect. What? All right. Also, speaking of cabinet picks or people who he's choosing to be around, whatever. Apparently Senator Todd Young from Indiana, is refusing to confirm his support for Pete Hegseth's nomination. Todd stood with George. Now, this guy says Todd stood with George Floyd, the corrupt Capitol Police, and pushed all Hoosiers to get the experimental Fauci Jews. Todd needs to be primaried. So, yeah, Todd Young screwed America. I'm shocked. Where is it? Breaking. Senator Todd Young refuses to vote yes for Pete Hegseth to become Secretary of Defense. He's a rhino piece of shit. It needs to be primary. So people are angry with Todd Young in MAGA world. And I'm curious, what is his why? I'm curious why. So that means it's going to be a tight race since they only have 53-47? They can't lose too many more to get him get Pete Hegseth confirmed. Also, let's see what's next. Oh, Zuckerberg. Zuckerberg is trending. And this is fascinating. As I scrolled through this, someone here says, after spending nearly $500 million to steal the 2020 election, Mark Zuckerberg and Meta offer a bribe of only $1 million to Trump disguised as inauguration funds. I hope Zuck goes to prison and I get my 13 years of vacation and family pics back. Okay, whatever. So anyway, Zuckerberg is going to be donating $1 million to the inauguration thingy. President-elect has blasted the tech tycoon during the presidential campaign, but ties have been improving. Yeah, he went and bent the knee at Mar-a-Lago and visited, but this is funny. Nice try, Tuck. Or Zuck, excuse me, with the picture of, if you look at the window there, that's Zuckerberg right there looking in the plane window as he's kept out of the loop. Fuck Mark Zuckerberg, I don't care. And then also the word rejected is trending. And it's funny because the first post I see under this trending term rejected is this douchebag. Justin Trudeau, or Castro, I should say. Justin Castro is the first person. And we saw this thing where he said, well, let me play this again, because I know we played it yesterday, but he made this statement. I guess he's tired of getting little digs from Donald Trump, so he said this.
No, it shouldn't be that way. It wasn't supposed to be that way. We were supposed to be on a steady, if difficult sometimes, march towards progress.
What does that mean?
And yet, just a few weeks ago, the United States voted for a second time to not elect its first woman president. Everywhere,
so
women's rights and women's progress is under attack, overtly and subtly. But I want you to know that I am, and always will be, a proud feminist.
Well, and he should be proud, or she, or whatever, he should be proud that Canada did elect a woman for prime minister. So congratulations. So Somebody who just because Canada has rejected male leadership doesn't mean the U.S. is under any obligation to do so. Oh, snap! Yes, Governor Trudeau. Yes, thank you, Tyre. Governor Trudeau. Honestly, rejecting female presidents both times they went up for election is one of America's greatest accomplishments. One of the funniest things to happen so far in the 21st century. So anyway, and then also Jamal Bowman, Fire Marshal Jamal, the congressman who famously tried to delay a vote by pulling a firearm in the halls of Congress, wrote this thing, and some people thought it was a parody account. He wrote this: "Dear white people, I don't know why I feel the need to keep talking to you. I don't know why part of me still has hope for you and for us. Some of you are too far gone, but maybe enough of you aren't and will join us in fighting to end white supremacy." I was like, really? Really, soon to be former congressman? Because he didn't even win his primary. I was thinking about this. So when I read this as a man of, obviously my melanation is not super present, but it's there, and I certainly can show you my ancestry chart. But when I read this, it made me think about this statement. And I might have to ask somebody about this. Because, well, again, the last line here, but maybe enough you aren't and will join us in fighting to end white supremacy. And when I was thinking about that, because you hear this a lot, people are, you're going to end white supremacy. And I was trying to think, when I asked Jamal Bowman, well, how will you know when it's ended? Like, what would be the ultimate indicator that white supremacy is ended, Congressman? Because, there's a lot of white people that ain't in Congress, and you are. But what exactly, okay, so you end white supremacy. How do you do that? What does it do? Because I don't think white supremacy is holding me back or holding most people back. Mostly if you're a lot of the struggles in life are just have to do with effort and perseverance and all that stuff. But what would it look like? Because you're assuming that white supremacy is in full force right now, right? And I'm, obviously we have a history, as far back as, just 50, 60 years ago, where we were going through the civil rights era. But since then, how would you know that white supremacy is ended? And it's a rhetorical question that I'm not going to answer, obviously, here. Good morning, Midnight Exile, by the way. So anyway, but lots of people are making fun of him for even posting this, but I'm curious. So I'm gonna start asking that question when I see people post things like that, because I don't know. I've never felt inferior to white people, or felt that I don't know. I've never understood, at least at my age, as a person who's I was born in the 60s. But I've never, I grew up in a town around a lot of white people, and I never felt like they thought they were better than me. And I was always, in school, at least throughout grade school, I was one of the smartest kids in the school. I mean, then you get to, the higher you go, you're like, oh, I got to work a lot harder to be the smartest kid around here, right? And in high school, I definitely wasn't the smartest kid, but I was in that upper 5%, whatever, still. And even in my high school, which my high school was kind of a English and college prep magnet school in the Omaha public school system. And so most of the kids either there because they lived in the area of the school, or they came from other parts of the city, because that was known as, the school was known for academics, and college prep kind of stuff, had a lot of AP courses available and stuff like that. But even as I look at like my senior class and my senior class officers were like the United Nations. We had a black woman, black girl, class president. The vice president of our class was like Italian, had an really Italian last name. With the treasurer with Chinese. That's stereotypical. We had a very waspy rich white girl who was the class's secretary, and then like the other at large whatever class officers were another black girl, a white guy, and we even had a Mexican guy. I forgot about him too. We had a Mexican guy too. So that was my class officers, and but everyone who, it's like I don't get it. I don't know where the white supremacy was. I'm still trying to figure it out. I get it. In some places in the country, there's more racist people, whatever. But the white supremacy, what does it look like when white supremacy is ended? Tyre says white supremacy will end when Harry Potter becomes the Sorcerer Supreme. Okay. Were it not for white supremacy, Bowman would have been prelate of Mars and its 15 aligned planets throughout the galaxy, obviously. I just don't know. What does it look like? Because we must end white supremacy. What does that look like? Is that all about outcomes, or is that about opportunities? I don't know. Oh, Waspy, yeah, she white Anglo-Saxon Protestant. Oh, she was the whitest girl in the school too, but she was a rich white girl, but everyone liked her. I mean, she was cool. But we were all cool. Everyone in my high school class. I mean, didn't matter your social status. We had a great high school that everyone just, we all had this kind of same mentality, purpose at the high school. So whatever. So anyway, I'm curious what that means, Jamal Bowman. What does that mean? What does the end of white supremacy look like? And finally, the last in the trending topics I pulled up, which I'm kind of running out of time anyway. Van Jones is trending. And there was this panel, and I saw this panel discussion. I think it was at the New York Times. They had a panel talking about the election. And Kellyanne Conway had a really good section that's been trending. But this one with Van Jones is interesting too, because Van Jones was talking about how kind of the difference between how Trump campaigned versus how Kamala Harris campaigned. And this is an interesting segment. And so I thought I'd play it for you here today. Here's this section of Van Jones.
In the Philly suburbs. And I'm telling you, we are way off. The entire political class is way off. First of all, digital is a new door knocking. Mm-hmm. You got to understand that. We were laughing our butts off at Donald Trump for suspending his door knocking campaign and letting Charlie Kirk and Elon do a bunch of stuff online. Mm-hmm. We said, these guys are idiots. These guys are stupid. Then you start knocking on these doors. You know what people come to the door with? Their phone in their hand. They're in a 24-hour digital surround sound that has nothing to do with CNN, has nothing to do with any stuff that we do. I got a teenage son. I asked him, who are the most influential people in the world today? I'm thinking to myself, he's going to say Barack Obama, Oprah Winfrey, Jay-Z. He says, Kai Cent, Aiden Ross, Jinxie, and Sketch. I don't know who he's talking about.
I know who two of those people are, but I don't follow any of them. I'm going to make a point about this, though.
What platforms are you on? He goes, I'm on Twitch, Kick, and Rumble. I said, that sounds like you need to go to the hospital. What are these platforms? I'm telling you guys.
Okay, Van's out of touch if he doesn't know what Rumble is. And Kick is just another video platform. A lot of people use it, but it's not as big. Look, here's where I'm going to disagree with Van Jones. Because ground game was very important in Pennsylvania. If you follow Scott Pressler at all, he worked his ass off in Pennsylvania. Got all those Amish people registered to vote. They never vote. Got them all to vote, and they all voted for Trump. And he was in neighborhoods. He's in rural. He was all over the state registering people to vote and getting them to vote for Donald Trump. Ground game is important too. So is the the digital game. And Donald Trump probably did both better this time. Here's the other part. Donald Trump, this is in particular this time, this time campaigning, he went everywhere. He went everywhere. He was in blue states. He was in red states. He was on podcasts. He's on, interviews. He went to California. He went to Madison Square Garden. I mean, he's in places that most Republicans ignored. And, I think his strategy was, and he went and talked in Dearborn, Michigan. He's in places where what's the other one? He was in the Bronx. He's in places where normally Republicans don't go. And I think people saw this, and he went out with a message. Remember, it's also a message, too, which Kamala Harris didn't have a message. Her message was, oh, joy. Yeah, what's your policies? Joy? Well, what about, what about inflation? Well, I was raised in Midwest, in a middle-class family. Well, what about this? Well, Donald Trump is terrible. What about this? Donald Trump. Donald Trump's out there talking about what's he going to do. And and relating to things that the people were concerned about. And you look at the polls on what the people were most concerned about. The only thing that Kamala Harris ever talked about was abortion. That's pretty much the only policy she talked about, and then blasting Donald Trump, blaming Donald Trump for the inflation that was happening during the Biden administration, telling people that, well, inflation is down. Well, the grocery prices haven't come down. It's also message. It's not just where or how you campaign. The message is important.
The mainstream has become fringe, and the fringe has become mainstream. There are platforms, there are people out there that are getting 14 million streams, and we're on cable news getting 1 or 2 million. And so there is
not on CNN.
the whole world out there. Kellyanne Conway, I hate to agree with her, but I do a lot of times. Donald Trump understood that and we didn't. And that's not just Democrats that don't. The entire political class is way off, way off, way off.
Look, Donald Trump is majorly media savvy too. So anyway, that's some people are saying Van Jones finally acknowledges that legacy media is basically useless at this point. X is now the media. I don't think it's useless because the media that you get on X, the news you get on X, still comes from somewhere. Now, granted, there's a lot of smaller citizen journalists or small outlets that do amazing work on getting reporting news, but people are on their like the man said, people are on their phones a lot more and not sitting in front of this. They're not sitting at home on CNN or Fox or MSNBC or CNBC. They're watching clips of things from Fox and CNN and MSNBC. And usually the stuff they get from MSNBC is fucking stupid. So that's why Van Jones is trending. Now, let's see. In fact, here's the article from the Daily Caller about this. We pushed all our rebels. Also, Van Jones says, we pushed all our rebels out. Van Jones unloads on Dems over shoving RFK Jr., Musk, and Rogan away from the party. That's the other part, too. Like, these people, a lot of people left the Democratic Party because they were assholes. And not because the people who left assholes, because the Democratic Party was assholes. CNN's Van Jones criticized Democrats for this month for alienating prominent figures like Robert F. Kennedy Jr., Elon Musk, and Joe Rogan, and turning them away from their party. Kennedy, Musk, and Rogan all endorsed President-elect Donald Trump in 2024 after previously backing Democratic candidates. Jones, at the New York Times Deal Book Summit on December 4th, argued on video that these rebels now feel unwelcome in the Democratic Party. He urged Democrats to confront this issue openly. How long is this clip?
I hope the party takes a chance to look at the fact that we pushed all our rebels out of this party. We had a rebellion in our party in 2016. It was called Bernie Sanders. You had a rebellion in your party in 2016. It was called Donald Trump. Your rebel won. Our rebel lost. And then since then, the rebels in our party have been pushed out. RFK was a rebel inside of our party. He wanted to run against Joe Biden fair and square. The DNC wouldn't let him. Pushed him out. You can walk down the list. Don't forget, Elon Musk was a Andrew Yang Democrat 4 years ago. He's out. You can walk down the list. Joe Rogan was very favorable toward Michelle Obama. He was a Bernie guy. He's out. So there's something that's happened in this party where the rebels in this party no longer feel like they have a place, and we've got to be able to talk about that stuff honestly. I love Joe Biden.
What happened to your party?
Brian Thompson.
Oops, sorry. What happened in your party? You're assholes. That's what happened. All right, I got a bunch of articles open, but I don't have time to get into any of them. Tomorrow we're going to talk a little bit about Christopher Wray resigning. Is that his name, Chris? Yeah, Christopher Wray as the FBI director. We didn't talk about that yesterday either. Well, I think it just kind of happened yesterday, where we know he's going to resign before the end of the term. There's some problems with Christopher Wray. Anyway, so some of the things that are in the links today: Chris Wray resigns in disgrace after using FBI to persecute enemies and protect lawbreakers. That's in the Federalist, PJ Media. Oh, you got to watch this. Do we have time to watch this? I think we do. Senator John Kennedy from Louisiana was talking with retired Army General Randy Manner in a Senate hearing. And this exchange is just glorious, because this is one of the generals who was very anti-Trump at the time. And so it's always fun to watch Kennedy do any of his shtick. So we're going to watch Kennedy, and then I'm going to get out of here. Let's find, okay, here we go. There we go.
You believe in open borders, don't you?
I believe in the rule of law, sir.
Right.
Do you?
And it makes you angry that President Trump does not believe in open borders, doesn't it?
Senator, I'm not here to discuss immigration policy. I'm here to discuss whether or not we use the military to enforce it.
And it makes you angry that most Americans don't believe in open borders, doesn't it?
Not in the slightest, sir. Again, I am not here to discuss the immigration policy.
Yeah. Duty, honor, respect, you talked about that
Yes,
in
Senator.
your opening statement. On October 14th of this year,
This is so uncomfortable.
you went on CNN. I want to read you what you said, make sure I'm accurate. Here's what you said. President Trump is not like any sane leader. I'm very proud of General Milley for saying that President Trump is a total fascist. To Bob Woodward, if he, as chairman of the Joint Chiefs, is calling the president a fascist, I'm so proud of him for breaking that barrier. The challenge is because most MAGA Republicans, they don't understand what fascism is. The reality is that they are, in fact, fascists themselves. Did I read that accurately?
Senator, I am happy to discuss my personal perspectives with you separately at any time.
Oh, no.
That's
We're
not the
doing it
purpose of
publicly,
the hearing
bitch.
today.
Did I read that accurately?
I believe so, yes.
Yeah. You think you're smarter than the American people?
Oh, come on now, Midnight.
Absolutely not, Senator. I am here to discuss the use of the military as part of this mass deportation.
You think you're more virtuous than the American people, don't you, General?
Senator, I am insulted by your comment.
Oh, you're insulted. Oh. Why didn't that work? There we go. Anyway, I just thought that was precious. Other headlines: Jamal Bowman talking about the Jamal Bowman quote is here, and in an article in the Federalist, and so you can read about it more if you'd like. New York Post, Miranda Devine says Daniel Penny and Luigi Mangione each took different paths to life, and only one could be called a hero. Yeah, this fuckstick, this privileged little fucker who grew up with a silver spoon in his mouth, and isn't even on. I just found this out. He's not even on United Health. His company, because he's complaining about the companies. His insurance was Blue Cross Blue Shield. He's not even with United Health. So why do you go to kill this guy? But there's still a bunch of women fawning over him, and the press is still, all on his side and stuff. And it's just ironic because this guy grew up with great wealth, and the guy he murdered, his family ran grain elevators in Iowa. It's just really weird that the guy who made something of himself, and this guy was a silver spoon fucker. Oh, the other thing too, we'll try to figure this out tomorrow. There is remember I told you about how Brian Thompson was going to be a witness in some hearings about insider trading in Congress. And I told you the other day that the tie was because something happened, and Nancy Pelosi happened to make a great deal of money on some trades she made regarding that related to Brian Thompson. Well, I just found out yesterday afternoon, that young Mr. Mangione's family was very close with Nancy Pelosi's family. Nancy Pelosi's family is from Baltimore too, two very wealthy families. And how I said this is just kind of weird how they found him so easy and stuff, and there's something really weird going on. This guy's grandfather and Nancy Pelosi's father were in business together. So there's more to this. There is a lot more to this than meets the eye. Anyway, also there's an article in PJ Media, who inspired the accused CEO murderer Moore, the Unabomber, or Michael Moore. Oh, good Lord. That's an interesting article. In Breitbart, thousands raised. They're raising money for this fuckstick. Now, why did they even? This is someone from a very, very wealthy family, but apparently there's a GoFundMe for this fucker, and also GoFundMe and e-commerce Etsy have been shutting down fundraising and merchandising efforts to support the accused CEO killer, Luigi Mangione. But Give, Send, Go appears to be allowing them. Wow. And he's on t-shirts and shit. Oh God, fuck this guy. I'm sorry. Even if I believe that his cause was great, you don't murder somebody in cold blood in the street. And now the idea of murdering CEOs is becoming kind of popular, and I don't like that either. Daily Wire, FBI and DHS have yet to provide docs on second Trump assassination attempt. Yeah, so we know everything about Luigi Mangione, but we don't know shit about the second Trump assassin attempt guy, and we don't know shit. We barely know shit about the first one, but we know about Mangione because I think they're inspiring. What do you call that? I think it's all a big dog whistle. It's a dog whistle for people who they want to take some matters in their own hand before January 20th. You know what I'm saying? All right. There's a bunch of other articles here, but I don't even have time to go through these. So that's it, guys. I got to go. Let me put these articles, though, in the chat and in the description. Here we go. Get rid of these. One tab. All right. There we go. And let's see. Which ones do I got? Oh, I got to get rid of these two first. Get rid of that. And get rid of that. Okay. So, that's it for today, guys. Thank you for joining me on the Morning Night Live. Tomorrow's Free for All Friday, and we'll try to get caught up on the deal with this shooter guy, the ties between him and Nancy Pelosi. I already popped him in the chat. That was dumb. There's today's links. Again, and that's it. I gotta go. Thank you for joining me. We'll be back tomorrow at the same bad time, same bad channel. Appreciate you, the sponsor, Avocado Stably, and all of you who joined us in the chat. Hello, Anna Lynn. I just noticed you were here too. And that's it. I gotta go. You all have a great day. My name is Dawg Knight, and I'm out of here. Bye-bye. Hey, this is Dawg Knight, and thank you for watching today on the Dawg Knight Channel. If you have an observation or remark you'd like to make about this video or my channel, I absolutely welcome you to write it in the comment section down below. I really look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and definitely click that bell that pops up afterwards so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday at 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. A special thank you to all the supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through Streamlabs, YouTube, Venmo, and Cash App, which are all linked in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm Dawg Knight, and I'm out of here.